Hello, guys. Good morning. And actually, it's morning on my time here. So it's another day and exciting day for us to take on another module on the Medgate system. And today we're going to focus more on billing. So we're going to look more detail into billing. I know I rushed over this when I was introducing the topic, when I was introducing the various module on the platform, but today we'll focus more on billing. So this model um, was designed specifically to be able to record transactions on the platform, and that means that we record all the transactions that involves money on the platform, especially some of the key you can say revenue inlets that um, where money actually comes into the hospital. So we have here a single model billing. So that means that if you want to, there are two ways of actually getting billing on the platform, like getting billing or billing someone on the platform, or maybe getting all the bills that the patient has consumed in the hospital. So one of the easiest way is first of all to get a case ID. So if you know the patient, so you can just, if you have a case that has already been registered, maybe it's an OPD or an IPD patient, and you want to get the full details about their billing. Let's say, for example, they visited the hospital, they've run so many tests on them without them paying any money, or maybe they paid just part of the money that you have done several tests without asking for money, and you've done maybe any other expenses that you have recorded on that patient without the money, or maybe the patient has paid, but you just want to confirm whether it's an OPD or an IPD patient. You can you can just put the case ID, for example, and you click on search, and the system is going to bring all the it will bring all the bills that has been used up by uh, that patient who has this case ID. So you will see for OPD, this is what this patient has consumed. So luckily the patient paid all, so there is no charge. For IPD, the IPD results will show here. Pharmacies, what they spent, pharmacy all will show here, and pathology, everything will show under here. And the same for radiology. If they had done any radiology test, it will show everything that they've consumed in the hospital will show, just like we have for OPD. So in that case, you could generate a bill which is going to include all of the other bills. Like for example, if they had pharmacy, pathology, or whatever, you can click on generate, and it's going to generate a total bill which is going to come with all the various section or all the other bills that the patient had consumed over time. And another thing, you might want to view this payment. So this means you're viewing only this particular payment, and you want to print, you can print this payment just by clicking on this button, this action button here. So you can print just this bill. It's the same for the other IPD pharmacy. You could print just a particular bill if you want to. And then here we have yet again, you can print this one directly. So you find this same. So if there are more, let's say OPD fees, you'll find them under here. But if there are pharmacy bills, you'll find them here also. The same for radiology, and you can print, you can export or print the final result there. But just to say, the three things that you need to watch out for is the generic bill, which gives you like a total bill of everything that they have consumed in the hospital. And then you might want to view the payments. That means these are money that the patient has paid already. So you want to see the amounts that they have paid, and you might want to add payments. So let's say, for example, after getting the total bill of the patient, and you realize that there is some balance that the patient needs to pay, and you want to record that in the system, so you can request the patient to pay that money, which he or she will give it to you physically or maybe pay online. Then you can put the date, for example, that the money was paid. You put the amount that the patient paid, for example, how the patient paid, maybe by cash, and you want to add a note, um, a complete, for example. Then you can save that to the system, and that payment is going to go on that patient's account. So if we go back to view payment, you can see there's a 5,000 payment that has been paid um, by the patient. So every time a patient pays money, you can add that payment into the system. And when you're generating the bill, it's going to come, and you can see that the patient has paid more than what is requested. So we have to give the patient a refund of 5,000. So you can see um, that is, so you can add the refund here. So you can add the refund, and you see how you refunded the money back to the patient, maybe in cash or whatsoever. So in this case, I'm going to put um, the date of today and giving the patient 5,000 back, and I'm giving a refund completed. So I'm saving that. So I've added the refund, and you can print the bill. So if I come here and I come to generate bill, you can see that there's a refund now for the patient, and if I try to print that, I get a full detail of this receipt. So you can see this full detail. Consultation fee was 9,900, and the tax, yeah, 9,000, and then the tax on it was 900. So the total the patient pay was 14,900. So what I had to collect, uh, and then what I had to refund back was 5,000. So that is basically the process. Then I can click on print, then I'll get the receipt. So this is the case when you have a case ID and you want to pull up a huge data so that you can go through them one by one. It's all about a patient. So a particular patient, each patient that is recorded in the system, either as an OPD or an IPD, will have a case ID that is attached to him or her. So if I click on another patient with the case ID of 2, I'll be able to see a new transaction for this new patient. So that is the process. So this is for case ID 2, case ID 7. You can see the patient changes. We haven't had much transaction for this one. So if I come, remember with case ID, if I view payments, you can see that we did some transactions here. But if I come to case ID 2, and I come to view payments, you can see uh, we don't have that 5,000 because this is a different case, it's a different patient. So we could generate a bill and go through the same process. Yeah, so that said, as I earlier said, there are two ways for actually getting or billing a patient. You either go through the case ID, where you're going to get a full detail about all the um, um, various cases or you have all of these modules all under this particular patient. So when I talk about all the modules, I'm talking about you have all the IPD pharmacy just like we had in the billing. Another way of actually billing a patient is by going through each of the module one after the other. So it's a single module billing. For appointments, you might just click on appointments, then you will see all the appointments, and you can either add an appointment And the process of adding appointment, you are going to generate a bill that you give to the patient, just like we did in our previous video on appointment. So you see how you can get the bill. So once you create the appointment, then you can print the bill on the go while you, like from here, save and print. Or if the appointment is already created, you can just click on the print, and then you'll be able to get um, this uh, this receipt that you can give out to the patient as their bill for that transport for booking an appointment. So, and I already spoke about how you can show the appointment and everything. You can print it still from here. Another way of the single module billing is through the OPD. So you click on the OPD and you will see all the OPD patient. And what you can do is you can click on the show, and then once it's going to bring you to the patient, all the patient's OPD visits. So all the patient's OPD visit is going to show up here with their OPD number, their case ID, the appointment date, the doctor that consulted them, any reference or symptoms. Then you can print the bill. So you can print the bill for this particular OPD session. So there we go. Um, so that is just the way to actually print bill for OPD. Now, the one thing that probably you might want to see is there is a show here. So if you click on show, you can make updates for the visit. So, but that notwithstanding, what I want us to focus more on is on how to get this bill. So you can see here that you have the print bill for this particular visit. So just let me be more clear. So when you click on OPD, you see the OPD sessions, like all the OPD patients, sorry. So from here, you can select now the OPD patient that you want to print their bill. So when you select, you click on show, for example, test patient 1, you will see all the visits that this patient has done to the hospital or has made to the hospital. Like from here, you can see on this date, actually, this is not very accurate because this was a test, so the dates kind of like came on almost the same time. And yeah, so we can see here on the 30th, this patient visited the hospital. On the 23rd, they visited the hospital. And on this date, on the 13th of February, they visited the hospital. So we might want to get a single bill for each of their visits. So we can click on here and we can print that visit, sorry, that bill. Another thing we can do, since it's an OPD patient, we might want to add a new visit for this OPD patient. Now, this new visit probably might begin with appointments. So we click on the new visit, and then for this new visit, we can select the date that the patient will visit. So I'm choosing 30th. And is there any casualty? No. It's an old patient. Yes. And any reference? Maybe not. Third-party insurance? Maybe not. And then we want to look at the charge category. What are we charging the patient for? Are we charging for OPD consultation fees, or we're charging for OPD services, or we charging? What do we want to charge this patient for? So I want to charge this patient for OPD consultation fee. Then we select the charge. No charge has been configured for that. Yeah, so I'll just take OPD and see if we have some charge here. So sorry about that, but we should have set up charges for that. That notwithstanding, I'll look for something. Let me say I check. So we want to charge this patient. So no charge in configure for that. Let me see one that has a charge and then configure pressure check. Nothing yet. So for all of this charge category, we need to add a charge to it. So we kind of like stuck because no charge has been configured for that for each of these. So we might want to go back and configure charges uh, for each of that. So that said, once that is done, you'll be able to enter some symptoms for this new visit. So you can see from here, remember I showed you how to add symptoms on the platform in our previous setup video. So you can select maybe the symptoms that this patient came with today at the hospital, and you can add the title, and it pulls up the symptoms details. So once you select the symptoms, you can select more than one, and all the symptoms will show up here. And then if we can add maybe a note and maybe any known allergies, and then how the patient maybe will pay this amount, and if there's any discount that we're giving to this patient, we add it there, and the tax will pick up automatically. Then the amount that the patient gave, we can enter the amount here, and then click on save and print, or we can just save it. If we save it, it will add to the new visit. It will add as a new visit for the patient, and then when you add here, we can print it again. But remember, you can print directly from here, save and print. So that is the process for OPD billing. Now we'll look at the pathology billing. So um, maybe you want to print pathology bill for a patient, just pathology. Remember this single module billing. So you click on pathology. When you click on pathology, you'll see all the pathology tests that have been referred, and the patient name, the doctor will refer that. There is a search field here. If you already know the pathology ID, then you could check. You could maybe search directly. And if, for example, you are looking at maybe the test here, and that is what you want to print, you click on View Reports, and then there is a print button there. So if there are more pathology tests, you can just do a print bill for all of them. So all the bills are going to be listed under this one. So you have more pathology tests listed under. But if you just want to print just a single pathology bill, then you just come to the particular one under this list, because this is going to be a list. So you can see here number one. So if there are more, you'll have number two, three. You can you can print the bill for just this particular one. Another thing, you can add or edit the report. So you might want to add or edit the report. This is something that is usually the um, done by the pathologists, like in the lab. So they are the ones who probably update this kind of information. Okay, that said, yeah, just to let you know that only the lab technician will be able to do this action. It's because I am logged in currently as an admin, that's why I'm able to do that. And then here we have another option to add or edit collection person. So if you want to, um, anyway, this is where you actually determine who will carry out this test or not. So usually this is a function that is performed either by the laboratory, someone in the laboratory, or the doctor. So for now, I'm not going to spend more time on that. So let's just focus on the bill printing. So you can print the bill directly from here. So that said, I'll go back one more step. Another thing on pathology is you can add a patient. Yeah, so you can add a patient, and you can add the patient if the patient already exists. So you can add the patient for this, or you can create a new patient and add to it. You select the test that the patient wants to carry out, and you input the date, for example, and then you select the referral doctor, and then um, you can add more tests to it. We'll have to make sure that we update this information. Yeah, we'll update the charges for each of these. So once that is done, you can save and print, or you can just save and then you'll be able to print just by coming here, just like we did before. So that is for pathology, and it's similar for the other ones. So radiology is the same process. So you'll find radiology just like we saw in the previous. You can add patient, and you go through the same process of adding um, a radiology test. Then you can print just like we saw in pathology. The same for blood issue. The process is the same. When you are issuing a blood, so here you'll find a list. If the blood issuing billing had been done before, you'll find a list of cases that will be here, and you can print just from the side. And if you're doing a new one, then you might want to fill in, select the patient or add a new patient, and then you select the doctor, fill all of this information, and then print the bill. So that is the process that you need to go through for billing, and the same for blood components issuing. So if you have already a list that will already be here for previous bills that have been added, and you can issue a new one. So this is actually a job that is done most of the time um, based on requirements by the doctor. So the doctor um, does this most of the time, um, especially when they are consulting a patient. So if they consult a patient, they can like, okay, you are OPD patient already because the patient was already been existing in the system because first of all it began from appointment, so the patient was already there. So the patient went met the doctor, and the doctor saying, okay, I've seen we'll see you been through, because the doctor will of course see all the OPD patients, and so the doctor will first of all see the appointment by clicking on the appointment, and then click on show. We'll see the appointment with this patient, and um, once the doctor sees um, this patient, then the doctor will move this patient to will recognize this patient maybe as an OPD patient, for example. And once that is done, this patient will be available on the OPD list. Now, on this OPD list, the doctor now has some specific things to do. So the doctor can either choose to um, let's say add some test, or add some prescription to this patient's visit. So I'll just take for example, this is the patient's visit. The doctor might want to add some symptoms and description or whatsoever, and then okay, no, this is actually for editing the visit. So just to say, um, if if the doctor is on the OPD, so the doctor will click here, and then the doctor will see the patient, and all the doctor will need to do is to click on show, and then the doctor will add a new visit. So when that appointment is being made, for example, like here we have the 23rd, this is an appointment that was made. All the doctor will need to do is to come here, click on show, and we see the appointment, visit detail, and maybe we'll have that conversation. Once that conversation is completed, then the doctor is going to like, okay, um, what I'm going to do now, um, I'm going to assign maybe test for you, and in that case, that patient will be considered uh, an OPD patient. And in this case, what will happen is you can see that the patient already exists here, is on the date of the appointment, it's already existing here. So all the doctor needs to do is the doctor will need to add maybe a prescription to this patient, or maybe we'll do, for example, if you click on adding prescription, the doctor will add prescription for this patient and everything. So um, if the doctor doesn't want to do that, maybe the doctor wants to first of all conduct a few tests. Sorry, let me just make sure you like this. Okay, so this is OPD. So the doctor might, okay, see, this is for this patient. I want to, yeah, for this particular visit. Here, yeah. Okay, so sorry if maybe I get you confused. So I was talking about if the patient um visited the hospital, and that patient has gone through the appointment phase, and currently it requires a bill. So um the doctor can carry out the billing just by just clicking on each of these and then generate a bill for that patient. Yeah, I was trying to like jumble things to go right up to the outpatient field, but I'll just leave it so that I'll handle outpatient and inpatient separately. So the focus will be on the billing. Thank you so much. I think we've gone through the steps as far as billing patient for each of these modules, and have a great day. Thank you.